What a wonderful and lovely day. It is another brand new edition of your current affairs program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. My name is Ego Sagmolao. I must tell you that on today's program, we'll be dissecting crucial national issues. One is noteworthy, and that has to do with the Electoral Amendment Bill, which was sent back to the Senate by Mr. President. Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari refused to assent to the Electoral Amendment Bill, and that has generated reactions from Nigerians. Not only Nigerians in Nigeria, but Nigerians in the diaspora. People are talking. Now, the political class are also talking. The Senate has made its position known that based on the 1999 Constitution as amended, they cannot single-handedly take a decision on the Electoral Amendment Bill that was brought back to the Senate by Mr. President. That they need to consult with the House of Representatives, and also during the Christmas break, they will consult with their constituents and then form the right opinion on the issue. That's what the Senate President has said, and that is the stand of the Constitution. Well, I have very distinguished personalities with me today. I have a very seasoned communication expert. He's also a pressure group leader, president, UID, United in Democracy. He's also a very seasoned politician as well. Andrew Eyigalua, nice to have you today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Now, we have an academics who also knows the political terrain. I'm talking about Dr. Maxwell Osage. Nice to have you today.
Sir, thank you.
Okay.
Viewers, good afternoon.
We have a youth leader, a politician, and he likes to be called by what his profession, a farmer. And that's talking about the first art toy. Nice to have you today. Okay, we're going to start with Andrew Eyigalua. Now, the president cited reasons or gave reasons for not assenting to the bill. But before Andrew Eyigalua will come, let's just listen to the Senate president when, after the closed-door meeting of the senators, he now addressed the plenary and, of course, the media. Now, let's just listen to what the Senate president said.
To the letter from Mr. President on the Electoral Bill amendment, the Senate consequently resolved to consult with the House of Representatives in January, when both the Senate and the House will be in session. Presently, the House of Reps has gone on recess. And like we all know, the constitutional provision is for the Senate and the House of Representatives to jointly take the appropriate action. The Senate also resolved to consult with our constituents during our recess in January.
Okay, nice to have you back. You actually listened to the Senate president. It's very important for him to talk to Nigerians so that we can get the background proper. So like I said, we're actually looking at that electoral amendment bill, but we call it Improving Electoral Process in Nigeria. Andrew Eyigalua is the president of a pressure group and a politician as well. Now, one of the reasons why President Buhari rejected the Electoral Amendment Bill, he looked at the issue of security. He looked at the issue of finance, that the direct primaries, that it doesn't accept direct primaries because direct primaries is expensive. Now, these are some of the reasons. But some politicians say no, that is the issue of the political parties. Why should the president be involved in internal working or internal happenings within the political parties?
Well, first and foremost, I will look at this issue as an issue that was not supposed to come up in the first place.
Okay.
It was not supposed to get to the president's desk. We are running a democratic government. This is democracy, and democracy is all about the people. Who runs a democracy? Political parties. Now, who are political parties? Political parties are a group of persons who have the same ideology on how the government can be run effectively.
Yeah.
Different parties have their ideology. And basically, in every political party, they have their constitution, how they want to operate. And in this constitution, there's provision for direct and indirect primaries.
Okay.
What is direct primaries? Direct primaries is a system whereby if you are gunning for any political position, maybe House of Assembly, House of Rep, or Senate, all card-carrying members of that party will vote. Card-carrying members. So long as you are a member of that party and that constituency, which we want to represent, we vote and want you to represent them. That is direct primaries.
Okay.
Then the indirect primaries is a system whereby a handful of persons, we call them delegates.
Okay.
They are few, most especially the gladiators in that constituency. And in most cases, how they emerge, you don't know. They are a handful. Now, for such bill to go and end up in the president's desk, like I said, it was uncalled for. If you people feel you want to change your style of electing or selecting your candidates, why are you involving the president? Amend your constitution. Look, this is party A, party B. The way we elect our officers or we choose our officers, we don't like it anymore. They do conventions. They will discuss, maybe do their sampling or whatever within the constituency and walls.
Yes.
What do? No, we want direct primaries this time, or indirect should continue. Then when they get to their convention, they amend it over there. We have different political parties. Party B, A can subscribe to that. Party B will say no. It is how you run your political party.
So it's supposed to be the goings on within the political party.
Political party. It has nothing to do with the president.
Yeah.
Well, if the president has to assent to such bill, that means it's dictatorial. You are forcing them to use your style. How does that concern you? Whatever they feel like doing with their party, fine, provided it conforms with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, direct or indirect. They will approve it and they will start, applying that kind of this thing. Like what Lawal just said now, want to go back to their constituents and discuss with their people. That is the best process to follow in a democratic setting. Not bringing it at the doorstep of the president to come and assent to it. And the party does not like it. Then what do? In democracy, you don't force. So it's a welcome development. Let them go back to the drawing board and follow due process on how things are done democratically.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Maxwell, now, Lawal, the Senate president, said, okay, they will return and discuss with their constituents. Some persons believe that some persons in the world don't even know their leaders at the National Assembly. How do they hold town hall meetings? What ways do you think that these political leaders can carry the people along vis-a-vis this issue of amendment bill that has been rejected by the president?
Yeah, Wosa, thank you very much. I deeply appreciate your question. And I want to wish viewers Merry Christmas.
Okay, thank you.
And New Year in perspective, which we hope to celebrate peacefully. Now, putting everything into proper perspective, what you have asked, indeed, I don't think there is any town hall meeting, because listening to the Senate president uttering statement that we logically know is different from the reality on ground. Now, if you look at the time it took Mr. President to return the bill or to communicate back to the National Assembly, it was calculated. Calculated in the sense that he wants them to go on break, so the bill will not come, before each and everyone will raise 1 or 2 points, then they go on recess. And before they will come back on recess, a lot of lobbying may have been done unknown to you. Part of the lobbying is actually what the Senate president said, that they will go back to their constituency. And the constituency that which you and I know right now is the office of all the governors. Because definitely we knew that the 36 state governors are against this same bill of direct primary. And why are they against it? In as much as I want to agree with my senior boss here, that is a political party thing and everything. But guess what? In life, when someone is 40 and still cannot control himself, you find a way to control that 40-years-old person. Because as it stands, the political parties that we have, they are actually not political parties. They are just a club headed by one person. So who caught the shot? So that's why you find out that every governor in 36 states of the Federation rejected that bill. Why? Because they know that the issue of delegates, which they refer to as delegates, helps them a lot. So as a result, bringing the direct primary will further reduce their power. Now, democracy is not supposed to be an emperor thing or building an empire around a particular person. It's supposed to be a collective responsibility where ideas are shared to get the best output. Now, I'm against a system where you constantly try one thing and it's not working. The delegate system, I call it delegate. Okay, okay, the delegate system, yes, which is the indirect primary, you and I know that there is nowhere in all the worlds where you actually see people casting their vote to elect delegates. Now the question is this: on a normal ground, if you want to follow the tenet of electing a delegate, it's just the same thing as electing the president. Okay. In fact, they're better. Yes. Rather than you telling all of us to come to one place, because before you elect such people to come to one particular place to elect the person, it means that each ward they've elected such person, maybe 2 or 3 representatives. Yes. So they will not cast their vote compared to the number of persons vying to become delegate. So you now vote. Now, if each ward can conduct same vote, I'm looking at it from a logical perspective. Yeah. If each ward can elect 3 persons from their ward, what now makes it cumbersome? That direct primary cannot work. So what is the financial implication that the president is now raising now that is actually not also applicable in the indirect primary? But when you look at the conspiracy theory surrounding the electoral bill, I think it's beyond just direct and indirect primary. Okay. Because when you listen to some governor, they flow sentiment, and you tend to believe because following how the issue of direct primary came in from National Assembly within 1 week, hey, we must amend and everything, recall back the document, then you did everything. Then you begin to think around the boss that, okay, this thing is actually beyond this. Is that there was no way maybe this man could have just said, let me return the Electoral Amendment Act on the transmission of result like that. They needed something to make sure that there is a kind of a 6 and 7.
Are you saying it's a small screen?
Yes, that's because when you look at it now, if indeed there is nothing like that, if you follow the PIBB, it was passed. True or false, sir? It was assented to by the president, but the amendment was later what? He sent an amendment bill to that PIBB as assented to before. So if the president, in quote, if the president is actually willing to make the electoral process work perfectly well, I do not see any reason why assenting to that bill and also sending an executive bill for an amendment to that. He could have as well lobbied that so that the INEC as an umpire can continue to prepare. Now you are watch me. From what I've deduced thus far, in this debate will continue from January. The National Assembly will debate this thing and they will not be heard way for 2 months. And eventually, before they would not eventually agree, okay, send it back to the Mr. President, the INEC will not tell you we don't have time to actually now practicalize this. At the end of the day, it's further rejected. We go back to square one. Now, but this is a president that said, I will leave a legacy. And you have rejected bills close to 4 times. On bills that will move, which is the yearnings of the people. Now I ask myself, if the National Assembly, who is fighting for their own right to be out of the governor's cage, cannot even stand to defend their own right, is it you and I in the constituency that they will not be defending?
We'll come back to you, Dr. Master. That was very exhaustive. First of all, you are a politician, and you know the goings on within the political scene. Now, looking at this electoral amendment bill that was returned to the Senate, what's your take on all of these?
Nigerians are getting wiser, and next year, 2022, will not be as business as usual. The INEC, they've seen how leaders or elected officials have emerged, and they sponsored this bill, and they did not do the thorough check. It's not about the bill, it's not about the process. It's about the people who are trying to hijack the democratic process in putting themselves in the limelight. Like the 36 governors now. How many of them that have served, they will bear excellency after their tenure, 8 years or 4 years, they are all be tried. The House chambers, the Senate chambers, 70% of them have cases in the EFCC. People like that are not representing Nigerians. It started very small. Now it is very obvious. Electional year is just knocking. January 1st, you will see the drum. INEC cannot turn the Messiah at once. It's the grassroots, because you see, they will consult, as my brother earlier said. Who are they consulting? It's the governor. The House of Rep member, we have some members of House of Rep. Since they've been there, they've not raised up their hand to speak. We have senators. You only see them in committee. They want to chair committee where they can go behind and take it back. The masses does not even know their right. That is why I said, whatever the drama that is going on, Mr. President came with a slogan, change. It is easy, but it seems that the change is beyond changing the human. Then he said, the change begins with you. He should start from himself. He should start from himself as a president. He is a member of a political party. Like the first speaker said, he should go to the grassroots. The president is from a grassroots. He's from a ward, a unit in a ward, from the local government to the state. And there is a process. But how will this process work when it's no longer a political party? As you said, it's a club. Because the political party where the members of the party does not even, they are not financially committed. They bear the title, I'm a politician, I belong to this party. Have you paid your dues? Dues payment is not allowed. We were thinking with this amendment bill, these things should be spelled out. Because anybody can put political party. I believe our political party is up to 40-something now. But you hear 2 major political parties. And you ask yourself, what is going on? The present situation in Edo State now will tell you that we have no political party.
How do you mean?
Because in 2016, the present governor was in APC. In 2020, it became PDP, the same governor. And now you will now ask yourself, where is the ideology? There's no ideology. It's survival. And if that they allow it to play, 70% of the people that are with the president today, they came from PDP, new PDP, this PDP, that PDP. The Congress of APC now, you will see what is happening in Kano. Because the party, not only APC, there is no ideology. And now they've seen that the younger generation has realized that these people, former this, former that, because they are used to sarin, they don't want to leave anything. Now they are sowing seed again. They started sharing meat, rice, and other things to deceive people. I'm telling you, in Edo State, people will come out. If the president-elect is signed, if the president-elect does not sign, what will happen in this next election? It is not going to be about PDP. It's not going to be about APC. We saw what happened in Anambra. Edo did it. Edo no be Lagos. Anambra said, we will vote our son. How can you bring somebody who wants a time in case a governor? You now brought somebody who worked as a banker and retired as a CBN governor. And you say they should come and showcase strength. For goodness sake, the Anambra people, they really prove to Nigerians they know what they are doing. And today, court has even ruled that the APC candidate is not supposed to be in the ballot. Now you now ask yourself, assuming he won, what happened in Bayelsa would have happened again. So then you ask yourself, the political party, why are they not sanctioned? Then I agree with my brother, it's not a party, it's a club headed by one man. One man will sit in his coffers and tell you, this is how I want it. They release money and they look for chickens. But though people have said no, we will vote who we want. That is why the today victory in Edo State cannot be attributed to any political party, because it was the Edo people that really came out and do what they need to do. So for me, what Mr. President is trying to do, I believe they are trying to kill time. The Nigerians, I know. I told somebody, you can see most of all our function now, the first standard of the national anthem is fading out. They are using the second standard of the national anthem, which is a prayer and motivating the youth. So if that anthem can still be booming and raising tension, I am telling you, my advice to the politicians who are aspiring in this next whatever House of Assembly, call it anything, they should, the one they've looted, they should keep it to. Because this one, from the primaries, any primaries they are going to conduct, it will not be as business as usual. Because everybody is open. Everybody's eyes are opened. Like in Edo State now, I'm in APC. My brother is in PDP. But in Edo State, you cannot see anybody who tells you I'm a politician. Because the governor changed the narratives by telling you a politician, yes, is a political affairs. But when it comes to governance, it is about technocrat. And even if the thing is going the way it's going, let them come and see what is happening in Edo. And if this is what democracy, they will tell you what is happening. There is no caterpillar, there is no this, there is no that. I'm a farmer in my own area. Things have been done the way it should be. What I applied for, they gave to me. This is just the loan that is making it, because the reason for that is because people, what we are saying here about the political class is because individual differences. People are not sincere. A man, you are talking about a man of 40 years. We have in our political parties some men of 80, 85, 90. They don't have the truth in them. They cannot say it the way it is. They want to protect their interests and mortgage the entire society, the community they belong to. And it has been clear now that criminals, those who cannot come and showcase how they got their money, are the people are sponsoring NGOs everywhere, sharing food They will go to a community, seize all their land, and call one person in the community and give him a cow. That one will be singing the praises. The rest are all crying. Such persons should not be allowed to come into the political arena. That is why some of us are waiting to look at those people coming, so that we will tell them, no, this person, no, he cannot. It's not about money. He cannot, because what we are going to beg is not about the electorate. INEC have done their best. Let the media. There is one thing I keep on saying: investigation journalism in this country is not working. If the investigation journalism is working, one man cannot just come from nowhere after duping several people. He will just come and say, I'm not clean. He will just have one consultant as a media and start polishing. He's a good man, he's a good man, he's a good man. What has he done before? That is how the red chamber, the green chamber is in Abuja. Most of them have questionable character. The NDLEA now is not saying, whoever that want to contest, they will test them on drugs. Because these are the people that are hating the drugs. Now, if that one works, it will help the electoral process. Sometimes they will be discussing, some of our members will go down and be smoking in their hand, taking cocaine.
No, but those are allegations you cannot substantiate.
We know them, but what we are saying is this: if this electoral process, that with Mr. President, the Senate, and whatever, it is not about, it is the whole games, because 2022 is going to usher in elected positions to take over in 2023. So 2022 is a key year for things to be arranged. So INEC is saying, oh, we are ready, but let it be direct primaries. Let me tell you, direct primaries is cheaper. Do you know why the president is crying about insecurity? When you collect money from A, and they say direct primaries, and you know you cannot tell your constituency you voted here, like the one of Jesus and Barnabas, they will say queue behind your candidate. The person that gives you 10,000 is standing, and you are not queuing behind him. When he leaves that place, he will chop off your head. That is the insecurity. But why will you take money from such a person? It's hunger, it's the economy. So for the way the country is, for it not to escalate. But in Edo here, let me tell you, somebody will come and take your money. The worst he will do, on that very day, you will not see him. He will say, I'm having a running stomach. I can't come. But at the end of it all, that is the major thing the president is trying to see. Because then there will be so much chaos because of the direct primaries. But in direct primaries, you don't know who voted. You will wait patiently to see the process. They will call the reconciliation committee, let them sign. And when they sign, they bring result. You'll be surprised that with all the money you paid for, only 2 persons, yourself and maybe your aide, voted for you. So you have nobody to blame. That is it. But if at all the process is not to be rejected, it's for we to look for people, as I keep on saying it here, dirty people came into politics. Those who have questionable character. That is why they said politics is a dirty game. Okay,
Mr. Toy, thank you.
Yeah, but when good people like the Hancock man comes into politics, you're shaping it and people will see it as a good game.
Thank you. I hope you are not encouraging me to get into politics. Okay, now what's the way forward? Because we need to strengthen our electoral process. We need to get it right. A lot of allegations have been stirred up by a toy. Issue of cash inducement for votes, issue of one man sitting somewhere controlling the party. These are also, how can we eradicate all these anomalies and get our electoral system right?
In this part of the world, poverty has a big role to play. When you are too poor, it affects your sense of reasoning. You can't think right, You can't do right. You can't even do anything. It's like you are paralyzed. You see the truth, you can't speak. Like what he just said in Anambra, Andy Umba, you are representing a party as a governor. After the election, they now said you were not even qualified to be on the ballot box. What does that imply? The party members, they knew. But maybe because he's the gladiator, he's the owner of the party, he's the big wig there, they didn't want to tell him. If they tell him, he penciled you as somebody that does not want his progress, they don't want him to be governor. They knew. He forced himself there to represent. Look, these are some of the cases. But in the developed world, the kind of politics we play here, they don't play it over there. No inducement, no, you campaign. Talk intellectually, tell us what you want to do, and they will say, oh, please come and represent us. Like in England, in the UK, now we have so many Nigerians representing some constituencies over there in the US and all that. Look at Obama, for instance. It's from this part of the world. It's your intelligence that they want. It's not your money, it's not nothing but your intelligence. For us to move forward, it's like a mirage. It's a mirage because our system is so porous that you can't build on it. If you talk of the direct primaries or indirect primaries, it's the same 10 and 10 pence. When you talk about the direct primaries, it will make the aspirant spend double.
You let them spend.
You will spend double. That is, if you are the person that has the possibility of getting the ticket and eventually going for the main election, you first of all spend for your constituency.
Are you supposed to spend?
That's why I said it's African politics.
No,
Before the election, before the primary election, you have your agents that works for you. That will help you to go and look for members that with party cards and all that to convince them to vote for you. Because it's all about party card, card-carrying members. You look for them. Then start dishing out money. You will still spend money so that they will queue behind you. Queuing behind you, is it your handsomeness or your beautiful face? It's the money, what you've tendered. That is what is bringing about the queue. You've not been tested, so how would they know if you are going to represent them very well? It is the inducement that is making your queue long. Nothing else, not your beauty.
But don't you think this direct primary is very efficacious? We saw what happened with the Ambode case in Lagos. The direct primary thing.
Yes.
You know?
That one has to do with leadership, again. When we have a leader like Jagaban in Lagos, he controls the party. Now, his subject, Ambode, is trying to be rude. Rude in the sense that what the Jagaban is trying to tell him to do, give this one this, give this one this, you are saying no, you want to govern properly. And these are people that worked for you. Good. It's not time for election. And the constitution of the party says direct or indirect. Now, let us choose the direct. And the people that are coming there to vote, these are the people you've offended. That you didn't give food to eat. Then Jagaban will tell you, I'm not there. Let them vote their conscience. And these people, they cried to Jagaban to say, okay, we voted for this man, he's not giving us anything. Oh boy, do something. No, I want to rule. Okay, no problem. Election will come. Let us use this direct primary. That was what happened. It has come to stay. The whole thing is so porous that we need a different mindset in Nigeria on how to move our country forward. Because at the end, when anything becomes sour, we start blaming government. It is we. It is what we wanted. They gave to us. And that is what we are getting.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Maxwell, we must really inform our viewer on how to take Nigeria forward in terms of democratic tenets. How do we improve the process?
Okay, first of all, I have actually not studied critically the electoral empire of America deeply. But however, now when you say INEC, just like you have different institutions, like university, then you create a commission that helps them to regulate themselves.
Yes.
The void, I've never heard that anything that has to do with university goes through the Senate approval, because there is a Senate within tertiary institution.
Yeah.
Any decision that they reach is binding.
Okay.
Now, this is my point. It's going to be a big problem if we say INEC, who has the sole responsibility to conduct an election, will have to now still depend on the same gladiators for law that will make him efficient or make the institution efficient. Now, to me, I will look at it from this angle. Rather than subjecting the Electoral Act to Mr. President and the gladiators who are in the National Assembly, which are the beneficiaries of all these laws, and they will not make it see the light of day. Is it not good to just, in the law of order, grant INEC a commission or a kind of a statutory body that takes decision on their laws, how to run any election, and whatsoever they come to declare by each election becomes a law as dictated by or by the white paper released on that particular election. Now, the reason why I'm saying it is this: all these laws that we've seen thus far and everything has really not helped, in the sense that it's making INEC, who is actually willing to do the needful, not being able to do anything. So to me, I'm looking at it from a different perspective.
Okay.
Give these people absolute power. Do not interfere in their affair. Allow them dictate the law that will make them work based on their commission or the body set aside to take decision per each election. Because now we've come to find out that each election differs from the other election.
Okay.
So using the same mechanism which you used yesterday on this one seems not to be working. Now that the election is dynamic, why create a stringent law that makes their hands tight and not being dynamic? To me, INEC is static, making them inefficient. Not that INEC does not really know. They knew what to do to make election better. If you listen to them in the communique they release, that whether they like it or not, they still want to adopt electronic transmission of results.
Yeah.
So why not subject these same people to the same people who are beneficiary of this law? This is my take. Can Nigerians come together and say we are sick and tired of government interference on certain institutions? Who has the right to dictate what we should do? Now, if there are way forward in that manner, I think it will help. Remove all interference from this commission. Let them dictate what they want to dictate. Let them do what they want to do. That is one angle. Now, the other aspect I'm looking at, sir, is this. On what ground will a political party who is governed by one person, a political party governed by one person, and you are telling that person, subject your law to a constitution, whatsoever you agree, when you know there is only one financier? And remember, they say where the treasure is, there's the heart lies as well. Now, the treasure are always the governor. And say you have one top notch in that particular state who is beyond governor in terms of finance. That's the only way you can compete with governor. X, he's using everybody's money to fight with you. So now the end product of that, if you have to subject, I understand that's why National Assembly were trying to come up with this. If different from the ideology or the sentiment before or the school of thought currently on ground. Yes. Now, but this is my point. You do not need to tell me to create a law that will be against me. An average Nigeria is greedy. They want to stay in power, as my boss said. They want to just remain there because they don't want to buy fuel with their money. They don't want to buy pay light with their money. Yes. They want to constantly use your money to service themselves. And you and I know that there are some persons that have been in government for the past 16 years.
It's terrible.
Now, these same people doesn't even know how much is gas per kilo. That is why they will do everything to make sure that the law. Now, but this is it. I think it's high time we come to the understanding that of what good will it be that if I'm the only person that is okay and everybody is suffering. I do not want to be sentimental in terms of Nigeria division. Now, we know that this thing is a weapon. Poverty is a weapon, and they are using it on the general masses to further gain their grounds in whatsoever they intend to do. But I think it's high time. There is a place you will pursue go to. If there is no place for that go to pass, it will face you. I think it's high time for we that are masses, who they are now flogging with our own income, our own money, our own task, we need to revert back to them and face them that is enough. I understand, sir, that governments, they are so strategic in the sense that if there is anything, that's why I said, I'm sorry, I want to say this. The political parties that we have currently on ground, they are antichrist. Now, the reason why I said they are antichrist is this. I've never seen where Marxists will say, let me protest on my right, and you will muzzle that person overnight. Either if you don't succeed in muzzling that person overnight, if that protest continue, you will infiltrate that protest by also having your own pro, which you have paid for. Now, if that pro does not work, then you instigate crisis, start destroying everywhere. And you said there is crisis, send soldier and start killing your masses. I've never had no problem. In 2023, just the same way we were fed up over PDP on the past regime, right now everybody is fed up on APC regime. Let me federal government. This is where you can't say that. I said it in this platform before. Some persons also they admire the ruling party. Let's get this thing clear, Augusta. I'm a statistician. See, if you cannot make inference that affect people generally, is a dead inference. Are you getting me, sir? So if you are saying there are some persons, can you classify the statistical percentage of that are actually happy that APC is leading us well right now? Now, I'm not interested in whether APC or PDP, because neither of this party that is actually taking us to Eldorado. But this is the point. It has gotten to a time where we negate all these people, look forward to the Nigeria as a dream. Look forward to a Nigeria as a dream. Now, I want to believe we will get there. But we cannot just get there by sitting down in our houses. I knew how many people I convinced over PDP in 2015. I know how many thought I changed with the hope that this government will give us a blueprint. Now, the same way, 2022, we will start again. All of us will come out. Whether they pass Electoral Act or they didn't pass it, the same party who has put us in mess has no locus or no moral standard to remain in power and keep impoverishing the people which are meant to be happy in the tenet of democracy by which the mandate we give to you.
Thank you, Doctor.
So to me,
thank you, Doctor.
2023 is close. Yeah. And we will do it, and we will do it again.
Thank you, Dr. Baswell.
Thank you.
The voters, Nigerians, they have the right to make their decisions. Okay, Atoy, now we're looking at moving forward. Time is not our friend on this program, so you'll be wrapping it up now. How do we move forward?
The moving forward is still forward. Why we are saying this, you're asking a doctor to take it easy. Let me tell you, when you see it as a party thing, it's not a party thing. Just that sometimes you need to call the party APC, PDP. You will ask yourself, which color is APC? Which color is PDP?
No.
It's not. The politicians, I'm talking to myself, those who have been tested, opportuned to be elected by the people, now the people now have seen that these people are a bunch of failures, from the top to wherever you count it out. To me, I believe our direction now is this. Let our religious houses, let our families be up and clean. Let the truth be taught to the next generation. We were thinking the first standard of the national anthem, that a time will come for the youth to lead. We now know it's a big lie. So the second standard now is not telling
God of creation.
Yes, it's not telling our children now, look, tell the youth the truth to know, so that they can bring justice. in place in governance. That is what is causing crisis. So if at this point in time, we that are seated here today, let us not fold our hands. Nobody has the monopoly of power. Last election, somebody said, I will release my lions and tigers. On the day of election, where was those lions and tigers? Those are threats. Edo State is still the heartbeat. Look, do you know why I'm proud to be an Edo man? Good thing starts from here. That is civilization development. Sometimes we always want to embrace the positive side. When there is change, there is always positive and negative. We are here talking about the negative side of democracy, of political parties and whatever, but there is also a positive end to that. Now, let us build on the positive end and caution the negative side. So, the way forward for me is this. Let everybody be ready. This is not about somebody telling you, if somebody calls you and says, I want to go for House of Rep, or I've been there before, they promised me if I go back again, or Senate, I will be the Senate President. If you are a chairman of one committee, you are not able to do anything. If you like to be president of the Senate, you will not do anything. So this is not the time to fool anybody, because I give thanks to our father, the owner of this place, the Esama. I thank him because as long as ITV will always come here, these people who are contesting, they should always bring their let them tell Nigerians. Because I will tell you this, when the time comes, as they are calling put calls, phone calls, they will know if they will fail. Because Nigerians now, I'm telling you, Nigerians now, yes. Edo, especially Edo, this is not about the governor or whatever. In Edo here, whoever that want to comes out, this is the first time one political party will spring up and will take over what they believe. But for we to start, by January, let us see how we can be financially active in wherever group.
Thank you, Efosa Atoy. Thank you very much, Dr. Maxwell Osaige.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew Eigaloa. Well, time is not our friend, but I believe our viewer, you've enjoyed today's edition of the program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. We'll be able to talk about the Electoral Amendment Bill and, of course, the reactions, the backlash of Mr. President returning the bill to the Senate. We've talked about all. Thanks for being a part of the program. Next week, God willing, we'll be looking at other issues. My name is Ego Sagbala.